I gripped the bed rail, trying to steady the rage building inside me. My world had crumbled in a single breath, and the woman I had devoted my life to sat before me, cradling the proof of her betrayal. Her expression wasn't one of shame or regret. No, she looked almost expectant, as if she truly believed I would just nod and go along with this insanity. "You thought I would just accept this?" My voice came out hoarse, barely controlled. Emily sighed, shifting slightly in the hospital bed. "I know this is a shock, but love isn't just about blood. It's about commitment. You and I, our history, our bond, it doesn't just disappear because of a mistake." I barked out a bitter laugh, stepping back as if putting distance between us would somehow lessen the gut-wrenching pain she had inflicted. "A mistake." My hands clenched into fists. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is leaving the stove on. What you did, what you're asking of me, this is deliberate. Calculated. She frowned, adjusting the baby in her arms. "You always wanted a family." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "A family." My voice rose, drawing the attention of a passing nurse who quickly turned away. "With my wife. My child. Not some bastard you made with your boss." Her jaw tightened. "Don't call him that. That's what he is, Emily." I pointed at the baby, my breath ragged. "And you expect me to raise him? To look at him every day and pretend he's mine?" "You could," she said quietly. "You could love him as your own. It doesn't have to change anything between us." I stared at her, searching for any trace of the woman I once knew. The woman I had married. But all I saw was a stranger, one who had chosen herself, her desires, her selfish wants over everything we built together. "You destroyed us," I whispered. She shook her head. "No. We can fix this." I exhaled sharply, running a hand over my face. "And what about David?" The name tasted like poison in my mouth. Emily hesitated before replying. "He knows. He understands that you and I, our life together, is what matters." I let out a hollow laugh. "Of course he does. Why wouldn't he? He got to fuck my wife, get her pregnant, and now he gets to go back to his perfect life while I clean up his mess." She flinched at my words, but I didn't care. "I love you," she insisted. "You don't love me," I snapped. "You love what I provide. Stability. Loyalty. But you had no problem crawling into another man's bed and giving him something you never gave me." She opened her mouth to protest, but I cut her off. "Tell me, Emily, if I had gotten another woman pregnant, would you have been so understanding? Would you have raised my affair baby and called it ours?" Silence. Her lips pressed together, her fingers tightening around the blanket wrapped around the child. I had my answer. "You can't do this alone," she murmured, her voice trembling for the first time. "I need you, Adam." I inhaled deeply, staring at the woman I had once given my heart to. "You should have thought about that before you fucked your boss." Then, I turned and walked out of the hospital room, leaving her to sit in the bed she had made. For the next few weeks, I played my role to perfection. I was the devoted husband, the man willing to put aside his pride for the sake of love. I gave Emily exactly what she wanted: compliance. At first, she was cautious. The way I had walked out of that hospital room must have made her nervous. But when I returned the next day with flowers, forcing a smile and murmuring apologies about how I had overreacted, she let out a visible sigh of relief. "I knew you'd come around," she whispered, pressing a soft kiss to my lips. I kissed her back, but inside, my stomach twisted with disgust. She truly believed I would just accept this. That my love for her would outweigh my pride, my dignity. Foolish woman. At home, I let her dictate our new family dynamic. She spoke of the future, of how we would raise this baby together, how we could move forward. Every word was a dagger to my chest, but I nodded, murmuring reassurances, letting her believe I was healing. David, that smug bastard, entered the picture more boldly than before. No more secrets. He was the biological father, and he made sure to remind me of it every chance he got. The first time we met in person after the hospital, Emily had insisted we sit down together like mature adults. "We need to establish healthy boundaries," she had said, as if her adultery was just an unfortunate inconvenience we all had to manage. I agreed, smiling as I shook his hand. "Adam," David greeted me, his voice warm and confident. "I know this isn't easy, but I admire your strength." I wanted to break his jaw. Instead, I chuckled. "Well, love makes us do crazy things." He smirked, glancing at Emily before turning back to me. "That it does." The audacity! Emily acted as if we were all one happy, unconventional family. When David visited, she fussed over him, ensuring he was comfortable while I played the fool, nodding along, laughing at his jokes, acting like nothing had changed. But inside, my anger simmered. I wasn't just angry at them. I was angry at myself for ever loving her, for ever trusting her. I needed justice. Not just for my broken heart, but for my pride. So, I started planning. While Emily thought I was healing, I was tearing down everything she had built. First, I reached out to a divorce attorney. A sharp one. One who knew how to gut someone in court without leaving a trace of blood behind. Next, I began quietly transferring assets. The house. Soon to be mine alone. The joint savings. No longer joint. Emily didn't suspect a thing. She was too busy relishing in her fantasy, her loving husband, her powerful boss, her perfect life. She had no idea I was about to shatter it. But financial ruin wasn't enough. No, I wanted something deeper. Something that would make her feel the humiliation I had felt. So I set my sights on someone else. Sarah. She had been Emily's best friend since college. Unlike my wife, Sarah had always respected me, always treated me with kindness. And, more importantly, I had caught the way she looked at me when she thought no one noticed. The longing. The desire. Emily had taken something from me. It was only fair I took something from her. And so, I started to lay the final part of my trap. The night I made my move, Emily had no idea what was coming. She was too caught up in her new reality, too blinded by the illusion she had built around us. Sarah had always been close to our marriage, always there as the best friend who gave Emily advice, supported her decisions, whether they were right or wrong. I had always been polite, but distant. That changed now. I started small. Compliments here and there. A lingering touch when handing her a glass of wine. Late-night conversations when Emily was too busy soothing her affair baby to notice. Sarah was hesitant at first. She knew what Emily had done to me, but she didn't want to overstep. She was loyal, or at least she had been. Until I made her doubt. "She betrayed me," I whispered one evening after dinner at our home. Emily had gone upstairs to put the baby to sleep, leaving us alone with half-finished glasses of wine. "She made a fool of me." Sarah sighed, setting her glass down. "I know, Adam. I told her it was wrong." I tilted my head, studying her. "Then why do you still stand by her?" She hesitated. "Because she's my friend." "And what am I?" I asked, my voice softer now. Her breath hitched slightly. She had no answer for that. That was when I knew I had her. The affair began a week later. It was slow at first, stolen glances, lingering touches. But once the dam broke, there was no stopping it. Sarah had been holding back for years. Now, she unleashed everything she had been suppressing. And I let her. We met in hotels. In her apartment. Even in the very bed Emily and I had once shared. Every moan, every whispered plea from Sarah's lips was a dagger meant for Emily. I wanted her to feel this when she found out. I wanted her to drown in the same agony she had forced upon me. But I wasn't just cheating for revenge. I was setting up my final play. Emily had flaunted her betrayal, parading her infidelity as if I should be honored to be a part of it. Now, I would give her a taste of her own poison. So, I planned an evening. A special family gathering. Emily was thrilled. She thought it was about healing. Moving forward. That night, as friends and family gathered in our home, she beamed with pride, thinking she had won. Then, I shattered her world. As conversations buzzed around us, I tapped my glass, silencing the room. "I have something to share," I announced, smiling as I slid an arm around Sarah's waist. Emily frowned, confusion flashing across her face. I took my time, letting the tension build. Then, with a smirk, I leaned in and kissed Sarah. Deep, passionate, undeniable. Gasps filled the room. Emily's face paled, her eyes wide with horror. "What?" she choked out, stepping forward. I pulled away from Sarah, wiping my lips as I turned to face my wife. "Oh, Emily. You didn't actually think you were the only one who could have an affair, did you?" Her breath came in sharp, shallow bursts. You're lying." I chuckled. "Am I?" I turned to Sarah, who stood tall beside me, then glanced back at our stunned guests. "Tell them, Sarah. Tell them how long we've been seeing each other." Sarah, to her credit, didn't even flinch. She met Emily's gaze head-on. 3 months. Emily's body visibly stiffened. She looked around, as if searching for someone to come to her defense. But the room had fallen into an uncomfortable silence. 3 months, she echoed, her voice barely above a whisper. I smiled, enjoying the moment. "And it gets better. You see, Emily, while you were busy playing happy family with David, I was taking care of my happiness." I let the words sink in before delivering the final blow. "Oh, and one more thing. Sarah's pregnant." Emily stumbled back as if she had been struck. "No," she breathed, shaking her head. "Yes," Sarah confirmed, resting a hand on her stomach. "Adam and I are starting our own family." The color drained from Emily's face. For the first time since this nightmare began, I saw real fear in her eyes. And I relished it. Emily's face twisted in agony, her lips trembling as she struggled to speak. The weight of my betrayal, no, my revenge, crushed her, just as I had planned. The room remained dead silent, every pair of eyes darting between me, Sarah, and my dear wife. The same people who had whispered behind my back, urging me to forgive Emily, were now speechless. They had excused her infidelity, expecting me to be a good man and accept my wife's betrayal like a spineless fool. Now they saw the truth. You can't be serious," Emily croaked, her voice barely audible. "Sarah, you wouldn't." Sarah crossed her arms, eyes cold. "I did. And I will." Emily turned to me, desperation creeping into her expression. "You're doing this to hurt me." I grinned. "Oh, sweetheart, I already hurt you. This is just the icing on the cake." Her breathing quickened. "But I love you." I tilted my head, mockingly thoughtful. "Strange. That's exactly what I thought before you spread your legs for David." The guests shifted uncomfortably, but no one dared to interrupt. Emily's eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "This isn't the same." I laughed, the sound hollow. "It's exactly the same. But there's one difference." I leaned in slightly. "I don't want you back." She swayed on her feet as if my words physically struck her. You can't just throw away everything we had." I smirked. "You threw it away first." Her hands curled into fists. "What about the baby?" I shrugged. "What about him?" "He needs a father," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Then let David step up," I said coldly. "Or better yet, why don't you raise him alone? After all, you didn't think about my feelings when you made him. Why should I care now?" Tears spilled down her cheeks, but I felt nothing. Not pity. Not regret. Nothing. I turned to Sarah, extending my hand. She took it without hesitation, standing firmly by my side. Emily had betrayed me without a second thought, and now she would know what it felt like to be discarded, unwanted, replaced. With one final glance at my wife, I smiled. "Enjoy your life, Emily." "I know I will." Then, with Sarah by my side, I walked out the door, leaving Emily alone in the ruins of the life she had destroyed.